In this Helldivers 2 video, we're going to be revisiting the topic of meta loadouts for the Illuminates. It's been quite a while since I've released a meta loadout for them. It was way back in the day when they were first introduced, and quite a lot of things have changed. We've got the brand new enemy types ever since then. We've also got some brand new weak spots for some enemies like the harvesters and whatnot. And it's definitely time to update my meta loadout because there's quite a few things again that have changed. As with the other meta videos on the channel, we're going to be going over the old meta loadout first to see if it's actually still viable. Then we're going to go over the new meta loadout that I think is the best. And then lastly, we're going to go over my favorite loadout that is absolutely insanely fun versus the Illuminates. Anyways, we got a lot to talk about. Let's do it. The old meta loadout was quite interesting. So the primary weapon was the crossbow. The crossbow is actually still very strong on the Illuminate front. It's great for dealing great damage to the overseers, to the voteless, and actually is quite strong against the flesh mobs in newer gameplay. Where it does struggle a little bit still is against the harvesters. It can technically kill them, especially with the new weak points to the eyeball. It also can do great damage against the joint still. But the primary thing for that weapon is going to be against the units, being able to clear them very efficiently. It's also going to be very good for utility purposes against the warp ships and things like that. So crossbow again is still quite good on the Illuminate front. It's not a meta choice, but it's still pretty good overall. The secondary weapon was the crisper because it's just great for being able to clear many enemies at once. You set the ground on fire and then it will end up killing the Illuminate very quickly. All the voteless that walk in are going to catch on fire and die. You can actually light flesh mobs on fire with it, and it can work against the overseers, but primarily what I like to do with it is just whip it out anytime I had a ton of voteless chasing me, and then it would help me clear up that situation quite easily. So crisper is actually still quite good as well. For the equipment item, it was the gas grenade. Gas grenade is still absolutely meta on the Illuminate front because it's just so great at clearing the voteless. You throw this into a pack of voteless, and because of the damage per second and the radius of it, it's going to clear a lot of voteless very quickly. It will actually work minorly on the flesh mobs depending on whether you catch them in their enraged mode or not. It'll also work against the overseers as well. So overall though, the gas grenade is still pretty meta. I do quite like it a lot against the Illuminate. For the armor passive, it was the extra padding armor passive, and I still quite like this passive a lot because it's going to give you that same level of tankiness from heavy armor, but as medium armor if you're wearing the medium armor variant, which is the one I like to wear. This allows you to tank more shots on voteless, allows you to survive the ragdolling from the flesh mobs, and will help you take a little bit of extra shots when you're running away from overseers and things like that. So extra padding is still quite good on the Illuminate front. For the stratagem one, I was running the ballistic guard dog, which in my opinion is still quite meta because of the fact that it has medium penetration, and it's just great for helping you clear up voteless, helping you clear up overseers, and will do solid damage against the flesh mobs and things like that. And it will also take down shields from any given time against the harvesters as well. So overall, the ballistic guard dog is still very strong. For stratagem 2, I was suggesting the machine gun, and the machine gun again is a powerful option in the slot just because of the fact it has a very large magazine to be able to clear enemies very quickly. It could take overseers out of the sky very quickly, will do decent damage against the flesh mobs, and also it's just very good at being able to deal good damage to the harvesters, the joint area. You could just shoot them and kill them very quickly. So the machine gun is not the best overall machine gun you can bring in anymore, but it is still very strong if you want to bring in a medium level option that is not quite as clunky as something like the heavy machine gun or things like that. For stratagem 3 and 4, I brought in 2 sentries, and they are the machine gun sentry and the autocannon sentry. Machine gun sentry is still probably the most meta thing you can bring in against the Illuminates. Maybe the Gatling sentry can kind of interchange from there, but machine gun sentry is so great because it has a fast cooldown, will help you clear voteless very easily, will take overseers out of the sky, and just in general it will do great damage. It actually will help you with stingrays and things like that as well. So I still love the machine gun sentry on Illuminate front because of how readily available it is to help you clear. The autocannon sentry is still solid, but it's not my favorite overall option because it does have that pause between shots, and I want something that's just going to keep pumping out damage and keeping clearing. And I do have another option that I think is quite better, but autocannon sentry is just great because it can do heavy damage. It will stagger the hell out of something like a harvester, will take stingrays out of the sky, will deal good damage to flesh mobs while it's doing this little burst mode. So autocannon sentry again is still quite good. So I still think that sentries are very good on the Illuminate front, so I would definitely suggest bringing these in as well if you want to run this type of build. Overall, this build is still very solid. It's not incredible like it was back in the day when the Illuminate first came out, but this build is still very effective whether in solo or in group play versus the Illuminate. So for the new meta build, we've actually had to make quite a few adjustments because we've had flesh mobs, we've had stingrays, we've had leviathans, and several other things included into the Illuminates, and we've also had the weak point changes for the harvesters, so we can actually construct our loadouts a little bit differently. For the primary weapon, I feel like the Scorcher is one of the top tier options on the Illuminate front because it will absolutely melt flesh mobs. You can kill flesh mobs in one magazine very easily. You can take out stingrays in less than half a magazine a lot of times if you hit all your shots. It's going to be great against overseers. It's pretty decent at clearing, but really gonna have other tools in your arsenal to clear. So really, the Scorcher is going to be a workhorse in this build, and paired with our other options is going to be absolutely fantastic. The secondary item for this build is going to be the Talon. The Talon is just great because of the fact that it has basically unlimited ammo as long as you pace your shots, has the same damage profile as the Senator, but it does have medium penetration. But it's going to be absolutely incredible for clearing Voltless. I like to leg shot Voltless when they're overwhelming me, pacing my shots, and it's great because it's going to be good for just doing that. Will also be great for taking out the Watchers. It will be doing decent damage on the Overseers. Talon has actually become quite good in terms of overall utility, so that way you don't have to waste Scorcher shots to deal with Voltless. So when I'm trying to clear a lot of Voltless, I'm gonna switch to the Talon a lot of times to take them out. For the equipment item, I've been particularly liking bringing in the Thermites. The Thermites are just great for not only clearing the warp ships, but they can help you with flesh mobs, they can help you with harvesters. And again, the main reason why I like bringing them in is for the warp ships, because you can just do a drive-by. With the Thermites, you don't have to take down the shield. You just attach these onto any part of the warp ship and it's gonna blow it up in one shot. Sometimes it doesn't work, but the majority of the time it's gonna work, and it makes clearing those objectives so much easier. And then again, it's gonna be decent on the flesh mobs. You can just stick this on there, and it doesn't always kill them, but it will make them heavily damaged, so that way you can just finish them off with a couple of Scorcher shots. So the Thermites are just gonna be great for just general utility against the Illuminate for a number of different things, especially against those warp ships. For the armor passive, I've been jumping between 3 different options depending on the situation: extra padding, peak physique, and siege ready. If I'm solo, I'm typically gonna run extra padding more often because I get heavy armor basically for free because I'm getting that extra mitigation, and I can also still run fast in medium armor. So just depends on what you want to run there. Peak physique is going to help us wield our support weapon better. So if you don't like how sluggish our support weapon is going to be, then this is going to help you a lot, make that less sluggish. And then Siege Ready is going to be great for better ammo economy and faster reload for your Scorcher. It's really good because you get an extra magazine, you reload at 30% faster, and then for our support weapon, it's also going to affect those reserve ammo as well. So for the Peak Physique and the Siege Ready, I like running the heavy variants when I'm in group play, just because it makes me a little bit more tanky and I'm not worried about needing to get around as fast. But definitely in solo, I run extra padding more often. For Stratagem 1, we're bringing in the Supply Pack. The Supply Pack is just going to be great for giving us bonus resources, from Thermite Grenades to Scorcher shots to also refunding our heavy machine gun, which is going to be our main weapon of choice. So the Supply Pack is basically mandatory in a lot of ways, because we're going to be expending so many resources that we're going to need it back. Also, because of the volume of Illuminates and the random shots that come from flying Overseers, having the Supply Pack is great to be able to refund you on stims as well. So overall, the Supply Pack is definitely taken over my backpack slot over something like a damage option. For Stratagem 2, which is our support weapon, we are bringing in the aforementioned heavy machine gun. This has become elite on the Illuminate front because of the changes to Harvesters. All we have to simply do is take down the shield, shoot the eyeball a little bit, and the Harvester will die. No longer do you have to try and hit the joint area with a medium weapon or anything like that. Literally take the heavy machine gun, shoot him in the eye, and they will die so freaking fast. Also, this is going to be great for helping with the flesh mobs, because you can kill them very quickly in less than half a magazine with the heavy machine gun. Also going to be great for taking on the Overseers and things like that. If you pair Peak Physique with this, you get 30 extra ergonomics to be able to make this thing much easier to wield. But I typically will run extra padding or Siege Ready because I feel like those are just fine. Heavy machine gun is absolutely elite, and it's in the argument for being the best overall support weapon right now versus the Illuminate. For Stratagem 3 and 4, I'm once again bringing sentries. This time I'm bringing the Machine Gun Sentry and the Rocket Sentry. Machine Gun Sentry, again, fast cooldown, readily available, great for clearing Voltless, great for helping with Overseers. Just a really good overall sentry for helping you clear if you place it well. For the Rocket Sentry, I know a lot of people are going to dismiss this because the Illuminates are explosive resistance, and yes, they do have a little bit more explosive resistance compared to other enemies, but just use this thing. Try this with the Machine Gun Sentry protecting it. It's going to stagger the hell out of Harvesters if the shield goes down. It's going to be able to prioritize and take down flesh mobs very easily. It'll take out elevated Overseers out of the sky. If you place it well, the Rocket Sentry Machine Gun Sentry is an insanely deadly combo for clearing, and you can just support them with a heavy machine gun. You can throw Scorcher shots around. Overall, you have the ability to create a blockade of just clearing that's absolutely elite. When you pair the Machine Gun Sentry and the Rocket Sentry together against the Illuminate, it is really strong. One enemy I did not mention for this build is going to be Leviathans. Now, Leviathans are not that difficult to deal with if you make one change. So we're going to swap out the Rocket Sentry for the anti-tank emplacement. Yes, you'll be losing a little bit of DPS overall because you're not going to have those free random encounters, but the anti-tank emplacement is very strong for being able to take out Leviathans from great distances, depending on the map. If you're in the city environments, it's a little bit more difficult, but it can still work. But again, if you're using the anti-tank emplacement, it's going to make taking them out so much easier in a lot of situations. So that's the only change I would make. But in general, this meta build is quite good. It's very fun, very strong. You're covered in every area you need. You can take out everything with ease if you start to get used to using the tools. overall, this is by far one of my favorite builds in the game, and it's definitely meta against the Illuminate. Now for my overall favorite loadout to take against the Illuminates, for the primary weapon, I like to bring in either the Coyote or the Scorcher. Both of these weapons are absolutely fantastic. The Coyote offers a different bit of a playstyle compared to the Scorcher because you have a better ammo economy, sets enemies on fire, and in general just sounds badass, and it's an AK. I absolutely love the Coyote right now versus the Illuminate because it's a great wombo combo with our particular support weapon that we're bringing in. For the secondary weapon, I've been kind of toying around with a couple different things. The Talon is still very good, but I've also been bringing in the Loyalist. Now, the Loyalist is not something I've used a lot in the past, but I wanted something that's going to be able to clear Voltless without me having to throw fire on the ground or having to aim at their legs or things like that. Just kind of wanted to shoot something at him. And the Loyalist is basically a pocket purifier. It's not always great in every situation, but it's really strong at clearing Voltless. You just shoot this into a pack of Voltless and it's going to kill a lot of them very easily with one shot, which is great. So if you haven't tried the Loyalist in a while, it's actually been quite fun. But again, Talon's great, Crisper's great. Secondary item is kind of flexible in this build, so kind of run whatever you want. But give the Loyalist a try. It's actually been quite fun. My favorite equipment item to bring in for the Illuminate is the Pyro Grenades. The Pyro Grenades are just great for being able to clear flesh mobs, clear harvesters very easily in just a couple of grenades. You get 6 total of these at any given time. Basically, you're going to be tossing these down at the feet of a harvester, tossing these down at the feet of a flesh mob, and you're going to watch them absolutely melt. It's just insane how strong this is because of the sparks that come out of it. They deal anti-tank damage. You're going to absolutely eviscerate harvesters and flesh mobs once you get used to placing these well. And also, again, you get 6 total grenades, so you got quite a lot of these at any given time. So overall, the power grenades have been absolutely fantastic in a lot of situations. Once again, the passive I'm particularly bringing in quite a bit has been extra padding. Again, the reason why is because I like to move fast, I like to have medium armor, and I like to have heavy protection. So again, that's still been my favorite overall passive to run against the Illuminate because I feel like I get hit more often by just random things at any given time. Stratagem 1, I've been bringing in the Ballistic Guard Dog again quite a bit. It's just too fun to just have it just floating around and killing things for me, especially when I'm retreating and I just want to have damage coming out. It's not quite as good as it was when the Illuminate first came out, but it's still effective. It's going to help you with the Overseers. It's going to help you deal damage to the flesh mobs, deal with the Voltless and things like that. So having the passive damage just doing its own thing is really quite nice overall. So for our support weapon, I've been bringing in the Spear Gun. I've been talking about that weapon a lot because it's seriously one of the best weapons in the game. And the primary reason why I like it against the Illuminate is because of the stagger force. It's going to be absolutely incredible against the flesh mobs. Pairing this with the Scorcher and the Coyote, basically what you're going to be doing is you're going to be shooting this at a flesh mob. It's going to not only stagger them from the sheer stagger force of 80, but it's also going to deal some decent damage and will have a gas effect go out as well, dealing some gas damage. So this is seriously an absolutely fantastic weapon on the Illuminate front. If you want to throw down a Pyro Grenade at a flesh mob's feet, stagger them with the Spear Gun, that's an elite combination. You can take out Stingrays from the sky. You can close up warp ships with this thing. There's really nothing this thing can't do on the Illuminate front that isn't useful. If you're getting overwhelmed by Voltless, you just shoot this at the ground. The gas effect will take over and then confuse the hell out of the Voltless. So Spear Gun, again, the utility is insane and it's absolutely so useful for those flesh mobs, which is the main reason why I like to bring this in. For Stratagem 3, I've been bringing in the Strafing Run quite a bit. This is also going to be great for helping you take down the shields and the warp ships to be able to take them out quickly with the Spear Gun. That's actually been quite nice. It's also just great for clearing. It'll kill flesh mobs in one strafe. Will take down harvester shields. Strafing Run has been actually great for overall utility, and the predictability at which it comes in is quite nice because there's a lot of streets and things like that that have been quite good. Now, if you're in the mega city biomes, the Strafing Run is not as great. It's still solid, so you can actually bring a sentry or something else in this place, like the rocket sentry or something else. So that's something you can do if you want to, but Strafing Run has overall been quite good, and I've been enjoying it a lot in this build. For Stratagem 4, I've opted out of using the machine gun sentry, even though the machine gun sentry is my favorite stratagem against the Illuminates, because I wanted to try something different and I wanted to go full chaos. So I've been bringing in the Gatling Sentry quite a bit. It's really strong just for being able to clear Voltless very quickly. You just set this up in a street and it's going to clear a ton of Voltless very quickly. It's going to do great against the flesh mobs. We'll take out Overseers very quickly. We'll delete Harvesters and stagger them a little bit. So again, I like the Gatling Sentry just for the pure chaos it brings in. However, you can still bring in the Machine Gun Sentry. You can bring in Rocket Sentry, AC Sentry. Kind of flexible there, but Gatling Sentry has been actually quite fun to use. Overall, again, this build has been so freaking fun to use. It's absolutely fantastic from a clearing standpoint. Offers some unique gameplay, especially if you throw on the Loyalist, have the power grenades going off. Spear Gun is staggering the hell out of enemies. You can use this to snipe enemies out of the sky as well from the elevated Overseers. But yeah, again, this build has been an absolute blast, and I've been enjoying the hell out of it against the Illuminate. But all right, that's all my thoughts on the old meta, the new meta, and my current favorite loadout against the Illuminates. What do you guys think about this video down in the comments below? Let me know what your favorite loadouts are to run against the Illuminate, what your meta loadouts are, and things of that nature. Make sure you like and subscribe for more content similar to this. But anyways, I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.